Alright, so this is an update on the 92 Ford that I got here for $2,000. See how far we can make it into this video before the vehicle just straight up dies on us. So basically I bought this and I hadn't driven it a whole ton. I put in the past couple days about 100 miles on it. I'm moving from house to house in Atlanta, and so I'm learning lots about it. I'm getting to shake it down and learn what are the pros and cons of this vehicle. There are some pros. The cup holders are really strong. The 5.0 runs really good. So it's got 296 on it. Occasionally it flashes a check engine light. I'm not real concerned about it. Occasionally it flashes the brake light and the ABS light. I don't care about that either. The radio works really good. Doesn't have AC. You got a vent window and you got a rear window there. You got a American flag headliner, no visors. Not having a visor was kind of an issue this morning. The scrubbing is not that big of an issue. It's got the giant tires. They rub on the radius arms. That has not been a huge problem for me so far. I was kind of afraid that'd be a pain, but I'm learning to work with it. I'm getting better at driving this thing. It's really big. It's lifted. It's a pain in the neck to drive at first, but it's like anything. I'm getting used to it. There are a few issues with this vehicle. So for one, it's got a death wobble, basically, and it's only done this to me three times yesterday afternoon, in a straight line on like a 2-lane road when you're crawling along at like 25. If you're at just the wrong speed and you hit a pothole, this thing shakes fiercely. I've heard of death wobbles in 4x4s before. I kind of thought it was a made-up thing. I didn't really know. I just thought like, oh yeah, everybody's had tire out of balance before, like it's whatever. No, I mean, it's the most violent thing I've ever experienced in a car, outside of an actual car crash, maybe including the car crashes I've been in. It is that fucking scary, and I mean it. But as soon as it's over, and the truck goes back to driving smooth. As you can see, it's in its happy place at 50. It is just absolutely as smooth as a Cadillac right now. Loves doing 50 on the highway. The 5.0, again, the 5.0 is a real asset for this thing. The 5.0 is really strong and smooth, and it runs good. So the death wobble is an issue. Got to look into that, the front suspension. So there's that. Then there's the random dying. So there have been a couple times when I was trying to start this thing and it really did not want to start, and I finally got it started. And so every time it does that, I'm like, I'm never driving this again. And then as soon as it starts, I'm like, oh, well, it started, so it's fine. I'll keep driving it. I mean, when is this thing finally gonna, I don't know if it's a fuel delivery issue. I assume it probably is a fuel delivery issue. I don't know when it's gonna finally die. This morning I was in rush hour traffic trying to get onto 285 at Riverside, and I'm in stop and go traffic, and all of a sudden the truck just stops. I mean, it just completely stops. No sputtering, no nothing, just all of a sudden it's deceased, and I'm in bumper to bumper traffic, not really the place for it. So I went to go crank it back up, and it cranked, but it was hard to start. It did eventually crank, and I had to kind of pin it to win it, and then it revved really hard, and then everything, I guess, was okay. I don't know. And after that, I was like, I'm never driving this again. This is a dumb idea. I can't be getting caught in rush hour traffic and stalling. I'm turning around, I'm going home. I'm just gonna park it and sell it. I'm never driving it again. And then as soon as it started, I was like, well, I mean, as long as it started, like, I might as well keep driving it. So I'm still driving it. Here we are. Now it's, hours later, right? So that, the random like fuel delivery issue or whatever that is, that's an issue. Then there's the transmission. So the transmission was fine until just now, like 5 minutes ago. I was getting on a 285 at Memorial, and the truck was trying to go into the third gear, and we went out into the ether for a while. We were not in any gear for a minute. We were just in no gear, and I was revving and it wasn't going anywhere, and eventually it kicked really hard, and then it was in gear, and then it fell out of gear again, and I kind of shifted down into second, took it in and out of overdrive, just kind of fooled with the controls, and it went back to third, and it found third, and I've been in third ever since. Gas mileage just sucks. I don't think I'm getting great mileage. I think I'm in the neighborhood of 10. Let's see. Both the tanks work, which is pretty wild. But yeah, so death wobble, random dying, and transmission. Those are my three concerns with this one. With all that being said, it's like, at the end of the day, it pretty much seems to drive. Like, all of these issues have been occurring, and I'm just continuing to drive it. I don't know if that makes me retarded. I don't know if it makes the truck retarded. I don't know if that makes us perfect for each other. Look, now we're going 60, we're going really fast. But I don't know. I don't know about this. I'm going back to my house. I think I might even hook up the trailer and fill up the bed, fill up the trailer. Like I said, I'm in the middle of moving. So I'm just taking loads back and forth. I don't know if I don't know if this is stupid, guys. I don't know if I should be driving this thing. It does not seem safe. It does not seem reliable. And it's got a belt chirp. The belt chirp seems to get worse as the day goes on. I don't know if throwing a belt on there would fix it. I'd be tempted to. Oh, and it needs ignition tune-up. So I've been running it with overdrive off. The reason I'm running it with overdrive off is because it needs ignition tune-up. It does not like being in fourth gear, under load, up a hill. It just doesn't like it, so I just run it with overdrive off. So it needs an ignition tune-up and a belt. Those are kind of the cheap, easy, low-hanging fruit. The front suspension, I'm sure a shop could eventually figure out what it needs. Start with alignment and balance, then start looking at bushings and shit. The transmission, I don't know, wait and see. I will say this, the truck doesn't leak anything. Even that rear main seal is honestly really damn slow. So the power steering leak that it originally had, I fixed. The tranny leak that it had, I fixed. But yeah, the rear main is the only thing left that drips just a tiny bit, and I threw some rear main sealer in, and I'm kind of hoping that dries that up. So I'm thinking the rig's tight. Rig's tight, the 5.0's good. We got some questions about the tranny. We got some questions about the front suspension. We got some questions about fuel delivery. I'm running it on the front tank now to see if that changes the hard starting and the random dying. And that's it. I mean, it's a $2,000 vehicle. I guess I'm gonna keep experimenting with it until it just dies on me randomly, but we got some major potholes and I'm afraid of the death wobble coming back, so I'm signing off.